Date 33 years, D-Day 3 days ago. Original post, married 33 years, me, male, 55, wife, 55, 2 kids, 2 grandkids, and we love them dearly. Background. We met at a nightclub back in the 80s where I worked as a bouncer, went out on a date, and 2 months later moved in together. 2 years later, married. We had a good life, work, play, having children. I went from a very active job to a sedate job and put on a lot of weight, to the extent that I couldn't even finish sex, as I would get an asthma attack. We tried different things to spice up our sex life, and were always monogamous. I had been cheated on in the past, so infidelity was a red line that my wife and I never crossed. We loved each other and thought we would die together. 33 years married is a long time, but I loved her more after every year that passed. After 20 years of a dead bedroom, I decided to lose weight, so after 2 years I lost 176 pounds and had a tummy tuck. I know it sounds vain, but there were 3 main reasons. 1 was so I could see my grandchildren grow up. 2, my health obviously. And 3, to rekindle our sex life, and it did. For the last 2 years we had sex about 3 to 4 times per week, and my wife enjoyed every second of it. I knew this because her body doesn't lie. So we were in a position where we can enjoy our lives with each other. She still says she is in love with me and I with her. I have never cheated on her, and I know she had never cheated on me. It's just one of those things. Well, that was until 3 days ago. She went on a holiday with 2 of her sisters, headed off interstate with them. I had no problem with this as I trusted her, but that cheating was a deal breaker with us, and even after 33 years, it still is. We had a relationship where nothing was hidden. We had apps on our phones where we could see each other's whereabouts. This had nothing to do with a lack of trust, just simple safety. No phones were hidden, and we both had access to our messages and emails. Trust was never an issue. When I lost my weight and started to look better, I did gain more attention from women, but I always brushed it off as I was happily married. My wife would comment that she felt a little insecure now that I was being found attractive by others, and she had put some weight on. This never worried me as I love her no matter what she looks like. I tell her daily I love her and how beautiful she is. Our sex is amazing, and I am regretful that we didn't try hard enough early on. Anyway, I just finished work and was heading home when I got a phone call from my wife. She was very upset and asked me if my sister-in-law had spoken to me. I said no, why? I asked what was wrong, never thinking that I would hear what she was about to say. She told me that she had cheated and had sex with another man. She is so sorry. She didn't know what came over her. I was shocked and my heart just broke. I sat in my car numb while she continued. She said her sisters and her were having a few drinks and a married couple joined them. They drank until 2 a.m. and her sisters had already left to go back to their room. The bar closed and she told me that she was very drunk and went with the couple to where their room was to keep drinking and talking. They both were very complimentary and kept telling my wife how sexy she was and her husband was a lucky man. The man then started to touch her and the wife encouraged them both. They told her no one would know and to just enjoy it. She felt that it wasn't even her, but she had sex with the husband while the wife watched. In the morning when she woke up, she was in bed with both of them asleep and ran back to her room. Her sister caught her and she told her everything. Her sister told her that she had to tell me or she would. She told me all this while sobbing over the phone and begging for forgiveness. I was just numb. How could she just throw away our lives? She was crying and kept saying she is so sorry and she hates herself, how much she loves me and made a terrible mistake. I told her she didn't make a mistake, she made a decision. I then hung up on her and turned off my phone. I went home and just sat in my chair, trying to work out what is going to happen now. I cried over the loss of my wife as I knew her and the years that we had together. I cried over the loss of our future together and the effect her decision will have on our family. My life as I knew it was over. I shut myself off for the last 2 days and then turned my phone back on. Needless to say, there were hundreds of messages from her and her sisters. The last one was, she was on her way home. My kids have also tried to contact me as their mother was ringing them to see if I was all right and if they had heard from me. I rang my kids and told them what had happened and that I was okay, as can be expected, but I will be leaving home to go sort myself out before she gets home. I asked them not to tell her where I was going, but I need to come to grips with the end of my marriage. I have just sent a text to my soon-to-be ex-wife, telling her we were getting a divorce and I don't want to hear from her. I don't care about the details, and now I don't care about her. The pain is incredible. I would never have thought that our love could have been destroyed so quickly. And now for the top of comments before reading the update. I sincerely doubt that this was the first time that she stepped out. You don't go from 33 years of faithfulness to a threesome after one night of too many shots in a bar. You only get the tearful confession because she thought the sister-in-law had ratted her out already. Don't listen to other posters shilling for reconciliation. I guarantee you those 20 years of a dead bedroom was one-sided. Hey OP, I don't think this was a singular incident. I think she confessed because she got caught. You're probably only getting half-truths. The way she described it, it was too natural. She in her desperation is probably trying to minimize the fallout, may have given it away. You might want to get her a polygraph to get the whole truth if you decide to stay. She needs to get into IC. It's obviously not a one-time thing. Cheating was very easy for her, so it's extremely probable that she stepped out during the period that OP was dangerously obese. OP would be nuts to try to save this. Now for the update. Update. I may ramble a bit, but I have a lot going through my mind and it keeps jumping from one thing to another. Couple of clarifications. Our dead bedroom wasn't completely dead, but compared to the last 2 years it seems so. The active job I had was in the military and I got injured on a training exercise which led to a desk job, then medical discharge, and then my wife and I bought a small business together. Now before I speak to my wife, I have spoken at length to my sister-in-law and her husband. The story my wife gave me was certainly different to the one she gave me when she first confessed. My kids were horrified about what happened and just want to support me. I have explained to them that though they may be angry with their mother, she is still their mother and the grandmother of their kids. She loves them, and what she did to our marriage does not change that. My wife and her sisters did cut the holidays short and came home. I left a note for my wife telling her to pack and go stay at her mother's. She did this. The details of how it went down are much worse than what my wife told me. Though she confessed under the threat of being exposed, she didn't tell me the truth. No surprise there. My wife broke down to her sister and apparently told her everything. I won't know what to believe until I sit down with my wife. The story that she told her sister went like this. She loves me and loves our marriage. She never expected to do this. She blames her active sex life we have had over the last 2 years to explore what else she had been missing. She felt this way because she was always the attractive one in the relationship, but now she believes the roles are reversed. She was insecure and needed to be wanted by someone else. She swears it was the first time, but she did plan it. It was a fantasy she acted on. She was scratching an itch and was never going to tell me. Unbeknown to her sisters, the couple she met were interstate customers of ours. I haven't met them, but my wife spoke with them all the time over the phone. My wife went for drinks to meet up with them, but her sisters tagged along so that they pretended to be strangers until they left. She did drink but was not falling down drunk. All three had this plan before they went away. My wife is coming around this afternoon to talk. Apparently she is beside herself to what will happen. I already know what I will do. She chose to cheat, but everyone will feel the repercussions of it. Already the truth about her cheating, though it makes it even more devastating to me, makes my resolve stronger. I didn't cheat. I didn't force her to lie. Her feelings that she has lost me and her marriage are spot on, and I don't give a shit how miserable she is. She did this, no one else. But we will now all have to deal with it. We are over and will have to navigate our changed lives. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for making my brother-in-law pay for his son's meal after I said it was my treat? I don't see my sister and her family very often, so when I do, I tend to splurge on them. I am child-free for now and for the foreseeable future, but probably not forever. I took her family out for dinner and I said it was my treat. So it was my sister, her husband, his mom who lives with them, myself, and 3 kids ages 15, 12, and 10. I took them out to a steak place in their city I always wanted to try. My 15-year-old nephew looks at the menu and says he wants the tomahawk steak. I see it has 3 pounds of meat plus 3 full sides, and he should probably pick something smaller. My brother-in-law says his kid can eat it all, and I said it was my treat and that I'm trying to cheap out. It is $190 for the steak. I said, fine, but if he doesn't eat it all, then you have to pay for it. He agreed. We order and the waiter tells us the tomahawk is usually shared between several people since it comes with 3 shareable portions of sides as well. I asked my brother-in-law if he is sure. He looks at the kid and smiles and says no problem. We ordered, and when the food came out and the tomahawk and the sides took up almost half the table. The kid finished less than a quarter of the steak and only a little bit of the sides. When the bill came, I asked to pay for 7 meals, all the drinks, and all the tip. The tomahawk steak on a separate bill for my brother-in-law. He paid with ill grace. My sister said that he used the budget that they had earmarked to take the family to see the new Spider-Man movie. I felt bad. I think that he was an asshole to try and waste my money. He thinks I'm an asshole for following through and making him pay for something that mostly went to waste. Yes, they took the leftovers home. Now for the advices. Not the a-hole. My treat does not mean abuse my generosity. It would have been one thing if the teen had actually eaten the entire thing. You said if he eats it, I'll pay it. If not, you pay. Good for sticking to that. Not the a-hole, this 100%. But I think this would be my last treat meal, especially since they tried to take advantage of you. Right, OP is very much not the a-hole. But what I don't understand is that OP, sis, the mom, OP brother-in-law, the dad, obviously he didn't, or even Granny, the mother-in-law, none of them told the 15-year-old male that ordering a meal with a price like that, when the host was not even ordering that much, was just plain rude and needed some re-education about dining etiquette as a guest. To be honest, OP, your sister and brother-in-law are the biggest a-holes here, and your sis, the bigger one in this group. If I were you, sis would get an earful after this because my own sister didn't shut down her kid in the first place and thought it was okay to use her sibling as an ATM. I would really reconsider treating them again, family or not. They don't get to take advantage of you. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.